All right, continuing our series to speak to all the major candidates for governor before the election. This week, Shannon Heckt sat down with Lake Charles attorney Hunter Lundy. Take a look.
Welcome back. We're continuing our series to meet with the 7 major candidates for governor this year. And this week, I'm joined by attorney Hunter Lundy. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Thank you for having me, Shannon.
So, Mr. Lundy, I want to get to know you a little bit better. You're one of the more unknown political figures that are in this race right now. And given the early GOP endorsements of your opponent and other Republicans and Democrats being in this race, why did you want to get in as an independent?
Well, I think that the partisan politics has gone too far. I think the divisiveness in the state has trickled down from the national government, and you know, this past legislative session is clearly you know, evident of that. And so you know, my heart's with the people. I'm looking for a change. I'm looking for progress. I'm looking for somebody who thinks independent. I'm an independent thinker. I'm not obligated to any political party. And so I think change can happen through somebody like me. I think there's a lot of them in Louisiana, a lot of people that are sick and tired of the old cliche, sick and tired of being sick and tired.
So I really want to talk about education. It's something we all know needs to be improved. There's been major investments into early childhood education as well as higher education in recent years at the legislature. So should you be elected, how would you plan to continue those investments and how would you pay for it?
Well, the money's there to pay for it. They could have paid for more money this year. They could have paid for more money for roads and bridges. They could have paid more money for health care. But just what I said, that divisive politics resulted in a lot of bad results in this year's session. But you know, we got to invest money in 3-year-olds. We got to go beyond pre-K. 80% of a child's brains form when they're 3 years old, 90% when they're 5 years old. So, you know, I come from a family of kindergarten teachers, as you probably know. My mother was one, my sister was one. So we have to invest in our children. And, you know, statistics show that much of your incarceration today is people that can't read beyond the 4th grade. So our 4th graders need to be able to read. And so, yes, if you don't read by the time you're in the 4th grade, you're in the pipeline to prison. So we want to, you know, they all match. Education, poverty, and crime. And so education is the key to reducing crime. It's the key to reducing poverty and to growing our state economically.
Mr. Lundy, you seem to be pretty plugged into the legislative session this last year, that you were really following it closely. So I want to talk about some of the social issues that really took a lot of the spotlight. And namely, there were 3 key bills that really focused on the LGBTQ community. And I want to know what your stance would be, first of all, on the ban on gender-affirming care for minors, the veto that was overturned by the legislature. Would you have supported a similar move?
What, the ban on it?
The ban on it, yes.
Yes. There's no child under 18 years of age that has the brain power to determine whether or not they should be taking hormonal drugs or removing genitals. I'm sorry. You know, that's common sense. I don't even need to discuss it anymore.
Sure.
I'm a proponent of life, and anything that's against life, I'm against.
And there was another bill where it wanted to prohibit the discussion of gender identity and sexual orientation in the classroom. What's your thoughts on that legislation?
Well, my thoughts is that I think the legislature took care of it, and I agreed with what they did, and I really, you know, I mean, we don't need to be, parents need to be addressing those issues with their children. Teachers shouldn't have to have that responsibility. A teacher's there to teach, you know, arithmetic, English, history. We go down to geography, civics, the courses that we want them to learn, and that's not a teacher's job.
Well, Mr. Lundy, I appreciate your insight. I would just like to give you one last chance to tell voters why they should vote for you this fall.
Well, I'm a, you know, I'm a Christian first, and I'm an independent, and I love the state. I love the people. My children are in the state. I have 6 grandchildren, and they're in the state. I have some in public schools, some in private schools. I have my oldest grandchild is 16, and she's in public school, plays soccer. My youngest grandchild now is a little over a month old. He was born on July the 4th. And so I want him to grow up here. I don't want him to leave here. I want to give him no reason to stay here. And we're a state of people that have common sense and a moral compass. And we can come together and we can elect somebody that really cares and that's not being run in by a political party, that's not being promoted by a political party, who has their own agenda and who's not willing to sit there and fight and call names and do things, because we're going to unite. You know, you don't have you don't have growth until you're in unity. And so we're going to be in unity. And so we're no longer really a two-party system. You know, Thomas Jefferson said it wouldn't last. And we're to the point now that it's really not lasting. And so with over 800 and some odd thousand independents and no parties in Louisiana, I tell people one vote more than the third place finisher, and I'm your governor. And so check me out. Go to Lundy for Louisiana, or go to Hunter Lundy Governor, and read about me. You'll see that I'm qualified to be the governor. You'll see that I've been a strong advocate for whoever I was standing in for the last 40-something years, and I'll be a bigger advocate for the citizens of Louisiana.
All right, Mr. Hunter Lundy, independent running for governor, thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you, Shannon. I've enjoyed it. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back.
All right, there you heard it. Thank you, Shannon, for that great information. We will continue our coverage next week as we hear from State Representative Richard Nelson. Well, a U.S. Senator says crime in Louisiana is bad for businesses, and he blames the federal government. That's next. Stay with us.